Zara stood in the cold metal room and tried not to shake. Around her, 20 other females waited in silence. Their skin glowed with soft blue and green lights that moved like waves under their skin. Zara looked down at her own arms. Her lights were dim and yellow. The other females never looked at her. The selection would start soon. Zara had been here twice before. This was her last chance. If no male picked her today, she would be sent away from her people forever. The door opened, with a loud sound. 20 males walked into the room. They were tall and strong, with bright lights dancing under their dark skin. Each male would pick one female to be his mate. Together, they would try to have children to save their dying race. Zara's people, the Velthani, were running out of time. Their home planet was poisoned long ago by big machines and bad chemicals. Now very few babies were born healthy. The doctors said only the best males and females should have children together. The first male walked slowly past the females. He stopped in front of Nala, who had silver lights that sparkled like stars. He placed his hand on her shoulder. "I choose you," he said. Nala smiled and walked away with him. Zara watched as more males made their picks. They chose the tall females, with bright lights. They chose the ones with strong minds that could speak without words. One by one, the room became empty. A male with gold lights stopped near Zara. Her heart jumped. Maybe this time would be different. The male looked at her for a long moment. Zara tried to make her lights brighter, but they stayed dim. The male shook his head and walked to the female next to her. Soon, only 3 females were left. Then 2. Then just Zara. The last male looked around the empty room. His eyes met Zara's for just a second. Then he turned and left without saying anything. Zara was alone. Elder Thane walked into the room. He was very old, and his lights had turned white with age. He looked sad but not surprised. "Zara Velthani," he said in a tired voice, "this was your 3rd selection." "Yes, Elder," Zara said quietly. "You know what this means." Zara nodded. She knew the rules. 3 chances to find a mate. If no one picked her, she could not stay with her people. She would have to leave and never come back, or she could stay and work as a servant for the rest of her life. "I am sorry, child," Elder Thane said. "You have good knowledge and a kind heart, but our people need strong children. The doctors say you cannot give us that." Zara wanted to tell him the doctors were wrong. She had read the old books in secret. Her blood tests showed something different than what the doctors believed. But who would listen to her? "I understand, Elder," she said. You have 1 day to decide. Leave our people or stay and serve. Choose wisely." Elder Thane left her alone in the cold room. Zara walked out into the big hallways of Kepler Station. The station was like a small city in space where many different kinds of people lived and worked. She had never been outside the Velthani area before. The hallways were full of strange beings. Some looked like giant insects. Others were covered in fur or had too many arms. Zara pulled her robe tight around her and tried not to stare. She found herself in a place where the walls were made of clear glass. Outside, she could see stars and spaceships moving in the darkness. The sight made her feel very small. "Excuse me, miss. Are you okay?" Zara turned around. A creature was looking at her with concern. He had pink skin and hair on his head. His clothes were dirty, and he carried a box of tools. She had heard of his kind before. This was a human. "I am fine," Zara said in his language. She had learned some human words from the computer. "You sure? You look pretty upset." The human set down his tools. "I'm Jake, by the way, Jake Morrison. I work on the machines here." "I am Zara," she said carefully. Jake smiled. It was strange. When Velthani males looked at her, she saw disappointment. When Jake looked at her, she saw nothing but kindness. "Nice to meet you, Zara. I don't think I've seen you around this part of the station before. I do not come here usually. Well, if you ever need help finding anything, just ask. I know this place pretty well." Jake picked up his tools. "Hope your day gets better." He walked away, leaving Zara confused. Why had he been kind to her? He did not know her. He did not know she was useless to her own people. Zara spent the rest of the day walking around the station. She saw humans working together, laughing together, eating together. They came in many different sizes and colors. Some were tall, some short, some had dark skin, others light. But they all seemed to accept each other. In the Velthani area, everyone looked almost the same. The doctor said this was good. It meant they were pure. But watching the humans, Zara wondered if being different might not be so bad. That night, Zara sat in her small room and thought about her choice. She could leave and try to find a new life somewhere else. But where would she go? What would she do? Or she could stay and spend her life cleaning and serving the people who did not want her. As she sat thinking, she remembered Jake's kind smile. For just a moment, someone had looked at her and seen a person worth talking to, not a failed female. Not a genetic mistake, just Zara. Maybe there was a third choice she had not thought of yet. The next morning, Zara made her decision, but it was not the one Elder Thane expected. Zara did not go to Elder Thane the next morning. Instead, she went to the human area of the station. She hid behind corners and watched the humans work. They were so different from her people. They talked with their voices instead of their minds. They touched each other on the shoulders and shook hands. Some even hugged. Zara had never seen anything like it. She watched Jake fix a broken air cleaner. He worked with two other humans, a woman with red hair and a man with dark skin. They joked and laughed while they worked. When Jake made a mistake, the others did not get angry. They just helped him fix it. "That's weird," said the woman. "This part should not break so fast. Maybe the Velthani machines are too strong for our equipment," said the dark-skinned man. "Could be," Jake said. "Their technology is pretty advanced. Maybe we need to ask them for help." The woman laughed. "Good luck with that. They think we're too stupid to understand their machines." "Well, we'll figure it out," Jake said. "We always do." Zara was surprised. The humans seemed to think her people were smart, but her people thought humans were stupid. Who was right? For 3 days, Zara watched the humans. She learned their names. The red-haired woman was called Amy Rodriguez. She was a doctor who studied different kinds of people. The dark-skinned man was Ben Walker. He studied how different people lived and thought. Zara also watched Commander Lisa Hayes, who was in charge of the humans on the station. Lisa was strong and smart, but she was also kind to the people who worked for her. On the 4th day, something bad happened. The air in the Velthani area started to smell wrong. The lights began to flicker. Elder Thane called for help, but the Velthani engineers could not fix the problem. "The system is too old," one engineer told Elder Thane. "We need new parts, but they will take weeks to arrive." "We cannot wait weeks," Elder Thane said. "The air will become poison in 2 days." Zara heard this and felt scared, but then she remembered something. The humans were good at fixing things. Jake had said they always figured it out. She went to the human area and found Jake working on a computer. "Jake," she said quietly. He looked up and smiled. "Hey, Zara, how are you doing?" "My people have a problem. The air system is breaking." "Can humans help?" Jake's face became serious. "That sounds bad. Let me get Amy and Ben." Soon the 3 humans were listening to Zara explain the problem. Amy asked many questions about the Velthani air system. Ben wanted to know about their technology. "We can try to help," Jake said, "but your people might not want us to touch their machines." "They will have to," Zara said, "or we will all die." Jake went to Commander Hayes. She talked to Elder Thane on the communication system. At first, Elder Thane said no. Humans could not understand Velthani technology. It was too advanced for them. But when the air got worse, Elder Thane had no choice. Jake, Amy and Ben went to the Velthani area. Zara went with them to translate. The Velthani engineers looked angry and worried. "Show us the problem," Jake said. The engineers led them to a big room full of machines. Jake looked at everything carefully. He asked questions and took notes. Amy studied the air samples. Ben looked at how the machines were connected. I think I see the problem, Jake said after an hour. Your machines are very advanced, but they're trying to clean air the way your home planet needed. The air here on the station is different. That is impossible, said the head engineer. Our machines are perfect. They are perfect for your planet, Amy said gently. But space station air has different chemicals. Your machines are working too hard and breaking down. Jake started to work on the main computer that controlled the air system. The Velthani engineers watched with surprise as he changed the settings. He made the machines work differently, more like human air systems but still using Velthani technology. Slowly, the air began to smell better. The lights stopped flicking. The machines hummed quietly instead of making loud noises. How did you do that? Asked the head engineer. We use simpler methods, Jake said. Sometimes simple is better than perfect. Elder Thane came to see what happened. He looked at the working machines, then at Jake. You saved us, he said slowly. Just glad we could help, Jake said. That night, Zara could not sleep. She kept thinking about what she had seen. The humans had solved a problem that her people could not solve. They had been kind when they did not have to be. They had risked their own safety to help people who looked down on them. Most importantly, Jake had treated her like an equal. He had listened to her ideas and asked for her help. No male of her own people had ever done that. Zara made a decision. The next evening, she found Jake in the observation area of the station. He was looking out at the stars, eating something from a small container. Jake, she said. He turned and smiled. Hi, Zara. Want to sit down? I was just having dinner and watching the ships. Zara sat next to him. For a moment, they watched the stars in silence. Jake, she said carefully, I want to ask you something. Sure. What is it? Zara took a deep breath. She had practiced the words in human language many times. Will you be my husband? Jake dropped his food container. It made a loud crash on the floor. Several other people in the observation area turned to look at them. What? Jake said. Will you be my husband? Zara said again, louder this time. The observation area became very quiet. Everyone was staring at them now. A Velthani female had just asked a human male to marry her. Nothing like this had ever happened before. Zara, Jake said carefully. Why are you asking me this? Because no one of my people wants me, Zara said. But you are kind to me. You see me as a person. Maybe together we can help both our peoples. But we're different species, Jake said. Is that even possible? I do not know, Zara said honestly. But I want to try. Do you? Jake looked at her for a long moment. Around them, people whispered and pointed. Some looked shocked. Others looked angry. I need to think about this. Zara, Jake said finally. I understand, Zara said. Take time you need. As Zara walked away, she heard the whispers getting louder. By the time she reached the Velthani area, everyone was talking about what she had done. Elder Thane was waiting for her with a very angry face. What have you done? He demanded. I asked a question, Zara said. You have brought shame on our people. Humans are animals. They are not worthy of us. They saved us yesterday, Zara reminded him. That was different. This is wrong. But as Elder Thane yelled at her, Zara thought about Jake's face when she asked her question. He had not laughed at her. He had not looked disgusted. He had looked thoughtful. Maybe, just maybe, he was thinking the same thing she was thinking. Maybe being different was not so bad after all. News of Zara's question spread through the station like fire. Within hours, everyone knew that a Velthani female had asked a human male to marry her. Jake could not work that day. Everywhere he went, people stared at him. Some humans thought it was funny. Others thought it was dangerous. The Velthani he passed in the hallways looked at him with anger or disgust. Commander Hayes called Jake to her office. Sit down, Jake, she said. Her voice was serious. We need to talk about what happened yesterday. I know it's strange, Commander, Jake said, but I don't think Zara meant any harm. The harm is already done, Lisa said. The Velthani Council is very angry. They want Zara punished. They also want all humans to stay away from their area. That's not fair, Jake said. We just helped them fix their air system. I know, but now they think we're trying to contaminate their people. Lisa sat down across from Jake. Tell me honestly, what do you think of this girl? Jake was quiet for a moment. She's smart, Commander, and brave. When her people had a problem, she came to us for help. She could have just let them figure it out themselves. But marriage, Jake, to an alien? I don't know if it's possible, Jake said. But she asked me why I would consider it. And I've been thinking about that. What did you tell her? That I needed time to think. Lisa nodded. Good. Take all the time you need, but remember this could change everything between humans and Velthani, for better or worse. While Jake talked with his commander, Zara was facing her own problems. Krell, Velthani, the male who had been chosen in the first selection ceremony, came to see her. He was tall and strong, with bright golden lights under his skin. Many females had wanted him to choose them. You have brought shame on all of us, Krell said angrily. How dare you ask an animal to be your mate? Humans are not animals, Zara said calmly. They are intelligent beings with their own culture. They are short-lived and primitive. They have no lights under their skin. They cannot speak with their minds. They are nothing like us. Maybe that is good, Zara said. We are dying, Krell. Our children are weak and sick. Maybe we need something different. Krell's lights flashed red with anger. You speak madness. Our bloodlines are pure. That is what makes us strong. Our bloodlines are too pure, Zara said. That is what makes us weak. Krell raised his hand as if to hit her, but Elder Thane entered the room. Enough, the old man said. Krell, go back to your mate. Zara, come with me. Elder Thane led Zara to his private office. The walls were covered with pictures of their home planet before it was poisoned. Green trees and blue skies that no longer existed. Sit down, child, Elder Thane said. His voice was tired. Tell me why you did this. Because I want to live, Zara said simply. And I want our people to live too. Explain. Zara took a deep breath. I have been reading the old medical books, Elder. The ones from before our planet was poisoned. Our ancestors were not all the same. Some were tall, some short. Some had bright lights, others had dim ones. But they were all healthy. Elder Thane frowned. The doctors say genetic purity makes us strong. The doctors are wrong, Zara said. In the old books, it says that mixing different bloodlines makes children stronger, not weaker. We have been choosing mates who are too much like ourselves. That is why our children are sick. You are not a doctor, Zara. No, but I can read. And I have seen something else, Elder. The humans are all different from each other, but they are healthy and strong. They live short lives, but they are full of energy and new ideas. Elder Thane was quiet for a long time. Even if this were true, he said finally, the idea of mixing with humans is disturbing, more disturbing than watching our people slowly die. Before Elder Thane could answer, Amy Rodriguez knocked on the door. Excuse me, Amy said in careful Velthani language. May I speak with you? Elder Thane looked surprised. Few humans learned their language. What do you want, human? I am a doctor, Amy said. I study genetics. I heard about Zara's question to my friend Jake. I want to offer some information. What information? Amy pulled out a small computer tablet. I have been studying blood samples from both our species. With permission, of course. I found something interesting. She showed them charts and numbers on the screen. Human genetics are very diverse. Velthani genetics are very focused. If our species had children together, those children might be healthier than either parent species. Elder Thane stared at the screen. This is impossible. It is unusual, Amy agreed. But not impossible. Many species on Earth do this. It is called hybrid vigor. The children get the best qualities from both parents. You are saying that human Velthani children would be strong? Potentially, yes. They might live longer than humans but be more adaptable than Velthani. They might be able to survive in places where neither parent species could live. Elder, Thane looked at Zara, then back at Amy. Why are you telling us this? Because Jake is my friend, Amy said, and because I think Zara is very brave. Not many people would risk everything for a chance to save their species. That evening, Jake found Zara in the same observation area where she had asked her question. I've been thinking about what you asked, Jake said, sitting beside her. And Zara's voice was quiet. I want to know more about you, about your people, about what this would really mean. It would mean we would be partners, Zara said. We would try to build a bridge between our peoples. Maybe we would have children who could help both species. But would you be happy? Jake asked. Really happy? Not just doing this to save your people? Zara looked at him with surprise. No, one had ever asked her what would make her happy. I think so, she said slowly. You are kind to me. You listen to my ideas. You treat me like I matter. I have never had that before. You do matter, Jake said. Any man who can't see that is an idiot. For the first time since the selection ceremony, Zara smiled. So, Jake said, if we're going to do this crazy thing, we're going to do it right. I want to court you properly. I want to learn your language and your customs. I want you to learn about humans. Then, if we both still want to try this, we'll ask for permission from both our peoples. And if they say no, Jake grinned, then we'll figure something else out. We humans are good at that. As they sat watching the stars together, neither of them noticed the figure watching from the shadows. Krell Velthani had heard every word and his lights were flashing with rage. 2 weeks after Jake agreed to court Zara, a big ship arrived at Kepler Station. It was painted with the symbols of Earth Fleet. Admiral Steve Carter stepped off the ship with 20 soldiers behind him. Commander Hayes met him at the docking bay. Admiral, we weren't expecting you. Emergency orders, Commander, Steve said. His face was stern. I hear one of your people wants to marry an alien. Yes, sir. Engineer Jake Morrison and a Velthani female named Zara. That ends now, Steve said. Earth Fleet cannot allow this marriage. It could cause problems with other alien species. With respect, Admiral, Jake is a civilian contractor. He can marry whoever he wants. Not if it threatens human security, Steve said. I have orders to stop this marriage by any means necessary. At the same time, another ship arrived. This one belonged to the Velthani. It was twice as big as the human ship and covered in weapons. Elder Council member Vex Velthani came aboard with 50 guards. Elder Thane met the council member with worry. Honored Vex, why have you come? To stop this madness, Vex said. His voice was cold as ice. A female of our people wants to mate with a human animal. This cannot happen. Zara is young and confused, Elder Thane said. Perhaps we can convince her to change her mind. There is no convincing needed, Vex said. She will return to our homeworld for proper correction. If she refuses, she will be taken by force. While the two leaders planned to stop them, Jake and Zara continued to spend time together. Jake was learning Velthani language and customs. Zara was learning about human culture and emotions. They met in secret places around the station. Jake taught Zara how to laugh. Zara taught Jake how to communicate with the light patterns under her skin. Your people express emotion with their faces, Zara said one day. My people express emotion with light. But you have learned to read my lights better than most, Velthani. You're not that hard to read, Jake said. When you're happy, the lights dance. When you're sad, they barely move. When you're angry, they flash red. What color are they now? Zara asked. Jake looked at the soft golden glow under her skin. Gold, like when you're content. Happy, but peaceful. I am, Zara said. For the first time in my life, I am truly content. But their happiness was about to be tested. Dr. Nina Chen, a human geneticist, had been working with Amy Rodriguez on the compatibility tests. She called Jake and Zara to her laboratory. I have good news and bad news. Nina said. The good news is that human Velthani children are definitely possible. They would be very healthy and have amazing abilities. What's the bad news? Jake asked. The pregnancy would be dangerous for Zara. Human babies grow faster than Velthani babies. Her body might not be able to handle it. Zara's lights dimmed. How dangerous? I'm not sure, Nina said honestly. We would be in new territory, but with careful medical care, I think it could work. I'm willing to take the risk, Zara said. I'm not, Jake said quickly. I won't let you die for this, and I will not let my people die because I was too afraid to try, Zara replied. They argued about it for hours. Finally, Jake realized something important. This has to be your choice, he said. I love you, Zara, but I can't make this decision. For you? You love me? Zara asked. Her lights began to dance with gold and silver. Yes, Jake said. I didn't expect it to happen, but it did. I love your intelligence, your courage, your determination to save your people even when they rejected you. I love you too, Zara said. You see me as worthy when no one else does. You listen to my ideas. You make me feel like I matter. They were about to kiss when alarms started going off all over the station. Captain Roy Bennett's voice came over the communication system. All personnel report to emergency stations. We have a security situation. Jake and Zara ran to the main corridor. They saw human soldiers and Velthani guards facing each other with weapons drawn. Admiral Carter and Councilmember Vex stood in the middle, shouting at each other. The human will not marry the female, Vex declared. That's exactly right. Steve agreed. This marriage is forbidden. You cannot forbid love, someone shouted from the crowd. Jake was surprised to see it was Ben Walker, the human anthropologist. More humans stepped forward to support Jake and Zara. They have the right to choose, Amy Rodriguez called out. This could help both our species, added Dr. Chen. But Krell Velthani stepped forward with other young Velthani males. This human contaminates our pure bloodlines, Krell shouted. He must be stopped. The crowd began to split into two groups, humans and some young Velthani on one side, traditional Velthani and Earthfleet soldiers on the other. Suddenly, Krell pulled out a weapon. If our leaders will not stop this, I will. He aimed at Jake, but Zara jumped in front of him. The energy blast hit her in the chest, and she fell to the ground. Zara. Jake caught her as she collapsed. Her lights were flickering and going dim. The crowd went silent. Even Krell looked shocked at what he had done. Amy and Nina rushed to help Zara. She's badly hurt, Amy said. We need to get her to medical right away. She's dying because of this human, Vex said angrily. She's dying because of your hate, Jake shot back. As the medical team worked on Zara, she grabbed Jake's hand weakly. Don't let them stop us, she whispered. Promise me. I promise, Jake said, tears in his eyes. While Zara fought for her life in the medical bay, something unexpected happened. Elder Thane pulled out an old book and began to read. Honored Vex, he said slowly. I have been studying our oldest laws. There is something called the right of genetic necessity. What are you talking about? Vex demanded. If our species is truly dying and if mixing with another species could save us, then our laws allow it. It was written by our founders long ago. That law is ancient. It does not apply now. It applies if I say it applies, came a new voice. Everyone turned to see Healer Senna Velthani, the oldest and most respected member of their species. She walked slowly into the room, supported by two assistants. Honored Healer, Vex said with surprise. Why are you here? Because I have been watching our people die for 50 years, Senna said. I have seen our children born weaker with each generation. I have read the human doctor's research. She is right. We need new genetic material to survive. But they are humans, animals. They are intelligent beings who offered to help us when we were dying, Senna said firmly. They fixed our air system when we could not. They offer us a chance to save our children. Only a fool would reject such a gift. Admiral Carter stepped forward. This is all very touching. but I have orders to stop this marriage." "Then you will have to arrest me too," came another voice. Everyone turned to see Captain Bennett standing with Jake. "I support this marriage. It represents the best of what humanity can be." One by one, more humans stepped forward. Amy, Nina, Ben, and dozens of others. Then, to everyone's surprise, some young Velthani joined them. Led by a female named Nira, they stood with the humans. "We want to live," Nira said simply. "We want our children to live. If this human and Zara can show us how, then we support them." The crowd was now clearly divided. Traditional leaders on one side, young people from both species on the other. Just then, Amy ran out of the medical bay. "She's stable," Amy announced. "Zara is going to live." A cheer went up from Jake's supporters. Jake felt like he could breathe again, but the crisis was not over. Admiral Carter and Council Member Vex were still determined to stop the marriage. "This ends now," Steve said. He signaled to his soldiers. "Yes, it does," Vex agreed. He signaled to his guards. The two groups of armed forces faced each other across the corridor. In the middle stood Jake, surrounded by friends from two different species. "I have a question," Jake said loudly. "Are we going to solve this with violence, or are we going to be intelligent beings and find a better way?" "There is no better way," Steve said. "I have my orders." "I have mine too," Vex added. "Then you're both cowards," Jake said. The room went dead silent. "You're so afraid of change that you would rather watch people die than try something new." Zara was willing to risk her life for a chance to save her people. "What are you willing to risk?" Admiral Carter's face turned red. "How dare you call me a coward?" "Then prove you're not," Jake challenged. "Give us a chance. 1 year. Let Zara and me try to make this work. If we fail, if it causes problems, then you can stop any other marriages. But if we succeed, if our children are healthy and strong, then you have to support other couples who want to try." Council Member Vex laughed, coldly. 1 year? Your human lives are so short, what can you accomplish in 1 year? "Everything," Jake said confidently. "Humans are good at making big changes quickly. Give us 1 year and we'll show you something amazing." The two leaders looked at each other, then at the mixed crowd of humans and Velthani watching them. Finally, Healer Senna spoke up. "I support this proposal. 1 year is a reasonable test." Captain Bennett nodded. "So do I." Admiral Carter and Council Member Vex exchanged long looks. They were outnumbered and they knew it. 1 year, Steve said finally. "But if this causes any diplomatic problems, it ends immediately." "Agreed," Vex said reluctantly. "But the female must prove she can bear healthy children, or she returns home for proper correction." "Deal," Jake said before anyone could object. As the crowd dispersed, Jake rushed back to the medical bay. Zara was awake, her lights weak but steady. "Did I miss anything interesting?" she asked with a small smile. "Just me." 6 months later, Jake and Zara stood in the biggest room on Kepler Station. It was decorated with flowers from a dozen different worlds. Humans sat next to Velthani. Other alien species had come to watch the first interspecies wedding in galactic history. Zara wore a dress that mixed human and Velthani traditions. It was white like human wedding dresses, but it had special fibers that made her natural lights shine brighter. Jake wore a formal human suit with Velthani light patterns sewn into the fabric. Healer Senna performed the ceremony. She spoke in both languages so everyone could understand. "Today, two people from different worlds choose to become one family," Senna said. "They do this not just for love, but for hope. Hope that differences can make us stronger, not weaker." When Jake and Zara kissed, the lights under Zara's skin exploded in brilliant gold and silver. The crowd cheered in a dozen different languages. But the real celebration had started months before. After their engagement, young Velthani began asking questions about humans. Young humans began learning about Velthani culture. Dr. Ben Walker started teaching classes about interspecies relationships. "The key," Ben explained to his mixed classes, "is not to try to become the same. It's to learn how your differences can help each other." Amy Rodriguez and Dr. Nina Chen opened a clinic for interspecies couples. More Velthani females who had been rejected began talking to human males. Some human women became interested in Velthani males. Each couple is different, Amy told them. What works for Jake and Zara might not work for you. But we can help. You figure out what will work. Nira Velthani became the leader of young Velthani who wanted change. She organized meetings where both species could share ideas. My people have been afraid for so long, Nira said at one meeting. Afraid of losing our culture, afraid of becoming weak. But fear is what made us weak. Hope is what will make us strong again. Not everyone was happy with the changes. Krell and some other traditional Velthani left the station. Admiral Carter was recalled to Earth for allowing the marriage to happen. But Captain Bennett was promoted, and Commander Hayes became the new head of human-alien relations. Council member Vex also left, but Elder Thane stayed. He watched the changes with careful eyes. I do not understand everything that is happening, he told Healer Senna. But I see that our young people have hope again. That must mean something. The biggest test came 8 months after the wedding. Zara became pregnant. The pregnancy was difficult, just as Dr. Chen had predicted. Zara had to spend most of her time in the medical bay. Her body was working hard to grow a baby that was half human and half Velthani. The baby is growing faster than normal for Velthani, Amy explained to Jake, but slower than normal for humans. Zara's body is adapting, but it's exhausting for her. Jake stayed with Zara every day. He held her hand when the pain was bad. He read to her when she couldn't sleep. He brought her favorite foods from the human cafeteria. I'm scared, Zara admitted one night when the baby was very active. Me too, Jake said. But we're going to be okay. All three of us. How do you know? Because we have something our peoples never had before. We have each other. When the baby was born, everyone on the station held their breath. Would it be healthy? Would it look more human or more Velthani? Would it survive? The baby was perfect. She had Jake's brown hair and Zara's large eyes. Her skin was the color of light coffee, and it had faint lines where Velthani lights would grow when she got older. She was bigger than Velthani babies, but smaller than human babies. She's beautiful, Jake whispered, holding his daughter for the first time. What should we call her? Zara asked. They had talked about this for months. They wanted a name that worked in both languages, something that meant hope. Luna, Jake said. It means moon in human language, and it sounds like Lurin in Velthani, which means new beginning. Luna Morrison Velthani, Zara said, testing the name. I like it. Word of Luna's birth spread quickly. Scientists from dozens of species came to study her. She was the first known hybrid of her kind, and everyone wanted to know what she could do. The tests showed amazing results. Luna had human adaptability, but Velthani longevity. She could see in different kinds of light than either parent species. Her brain developed faster than human children, but would keep growing longer than Velthani children. Most amazing of all, she could communicate in ways neither parent species could. She could speak with her voice like humans and with light patterns like Velthani. But she could also do something new. She could share emotions directly through touch. She's not just half human and half Velthani, Dr. Chen explained excitedly. She's something entirely new, a bridge between species. As Luna grew, more hybrid children were born. Each one was different, but all of them were healthy and strong. They became known as bridge children because they could understand and communicate with many different species. By Luna's first birthday, everything had changed on Kepler Station. Human Velthani couples were common. Other alien species started asking about interspecies relationships. The station became a center for interspecies cooperation and learning. Jake was promoted to Director of Interspecies Engineering. His job was to help different species work together on technology projects. Zara became a genetic counselor, helping couples from different species understand how to have healthy children. Elder Thane officially retired and named Nira as his replacement. At the ceremony, he made a speech that surprised everyone. I was wrong, he said simply. I thought mixing with other species would make us weak. Instead, it has made us stronger than we have been in centuries. Our children are healthy. Our future is bright. And it is all because two young people were brave enough to ask a simple question. Will you be my husband? On Luna's second birthday, Jake and Zara took her to the observation deck where Zara had first asked her question. Luna could walk now, and she babbled in a mixture of human words and Velthani light patterns. Do you ever regret it? Jake asked, watching Luna play with a toy that made lights dance across the walls. Never, Zara said. Do you? Not for a second, Jake replied. Best decision I ever made. Luna ran over to them, her skin beginning to show the first faint traces of bioluminescent patterns. She grabbed both their hands and pulled them toward the window. Look, she said in perfect human English. Then her skin flashed in Velthani pattern language. Stars pretty. As they stood together watching the stars, Jake thought about how much had changed. 2 years ago, he was just a maintenance engineer. Zara was a rejected female with no future. Now they were parents to a child who might change the galaxy. What do you think she'll be when she grows up? Zara asked. Whatever she wants to be, Jake said. The universe is going to be very different by then. Better, do you think? Jake watched Luna press her hands against the window, her skin glowing with wonder as she looked at the stars. Much better, he said confidently. A message came over the communication system. Captain Bennett's voice filled the observation deck. Attention all residents. We have just received word that the Galactic Council has approved the creation of the first interspecies colony. Volunteers from all species are welcome to apply. The colony will be located on New Haven, a planet suitable for multiple life forms. Jake and Zara looked at each other. Want to help build a new world? Jake asked. With you? Always, Zara replied. Luna clapped her hands, and her skin flashed with excited golden light. She didn't understand all the words, but she understood that something wonderful was about to happen. As they walked back to their quarters to start planning for their next adventure, Jake remembered something Zara had said long ago. Maybe being different is not so bad after all. She had been right. Being different wasn't bad at all. It was the beginning of everything good. Years later, when Luna was grown and had children of her own, she would tell them the story of how everything changed. How her mother was brave enough to ask a question that no one had ever asked before. How her father was kind enough to say yes. How two people from different worlds proved that love could bridge any gap. Remember, Luna would tell her own children, who were even more amazing combinations of different species. It all started with a simple question. Never be afraid to ask the questions that matter. You never know what wonderful things might happen. And in the great spiral of the galaxy, on dozens of worlds where different species now lived and loved together, children would learn that being different was not something to fear. It was something to celebrate. The end.